Yo, you guys, this is Blacklist to the Abyss, and you're watching my review for Shokugeki no Souma, aka Food Wars, Chapter 108. Okay, and I'll just start here talking about the Megumi and Arena pairing because this is the shortest one. Um, they end up doing exactly what I said last week, essentially. Megumi has done nothing but dishwashing this whole time, and she ends up putting enough focus and effort into it where she was able to succeed in it, despite the fact that it's just washing dishes. Okay, she ends up discovering a way to improve the restaurant, and it was pretty small, just letting the customers choose how much dressing they want. Not exactly a big deal, but it is an improvement nonetheless. So Megumi has shown that no matter how small a task, she can still put enough focus and effort into it where she can succeed at it, no matter how little importance it is perceived to have. Okay, all right. So I was right in that regard. All right, which I still wish they had just gone just go to my storyline, but whatever, not a big deal. Um, Speaking of my storyline, it's pretty much confirmed that it's restaurant. I mean, it was already confirmed, but it's pretty clear now that they don't give a crap about like personal growth. It's just about improving the restaurant. Hisako ends up coming to the realization that they're not helping the restaurant succeed. They're just preventing it from failing, which is exactly what I said last week. All right, I said that last week too. All right, and she realizes that once they leave, the restaurant's just gonna go back to the way it was before. Alright, so they hold an emergency meeting to figure out what exactly they can do to save this place. Alright, and Hisako proposes not changing the menu, but cutting back on it, just trimming some of the things off to keep it so that if you're cooking, it's easier to cook the same thing multiple times than it is to cook this and then cook that and then cook that and then cook that, because at the very least you'll have all the supplies and everything ready. But if you have to keep completely changing what it is you're doing, it's just going to take longer. Right, so cutting back on the menu, just cutting the number of things that they can order would have helped in terms of time, but that's just not something that they were willing to do. They felt like if they cut back on the menu, it wouldn't be the same restaurant anymore. So instead, someone proposes they make the restaurant reservations only. All right, which they were iffy about that idea too, because that would mean they turn away all of the traffic that they get, all these walk-ins and everything. Like that's business right there. But at the same time, if you're not serving them, that's not business either. All right, so it's definitely a risk, but by doing that, they're able to bring in the clients that wouldn't have had the opportunity to come in because of that traffic being there. Okay, we see what's his name, Mr. Shimizu. Right, like this guy is an example of that. Okay, so it ends up being a good move, and it ends up letting them pass. Alright, Kazune is looking in and saying, "Oh, you guys passed the first test." I'm like, wait a second, first test. Alright, so is there more to this? Like, are they like this could mean one of two things? Okay, either in this one stagiaire week there are multiple things you need to do in order to pass, and Soma and Hisako have only done one of those things, in which case that's very bad for them because they're already at the last day, so they're screwed, right? Or it can mean the second thing. In this one stagiaire week, there's only one thing you need to do to pass, and they have done that. However, there are going to be other stagiaire weeks in the future, maybe even right after this, where the goal of that week will be completely different, and then that will be the second test, third test, however many tests. Okay, so I'm banking on that latter one because the first one means that Hisako and Soma fail, which I'm not exactly a fan of. One thing I want to mention, just random, Hisako and Soma are getting along pretty well now. Just thought I'd mention that. I thought that was kind of funny, but yeah, I'm assuming there will be more stagiaire weeks in the in the future. Um, so yeah, I mean that's all there really is to say. Megumi's pretty good, and so many Sako are putting in work. So that's all there really is to say about this chapter. So yeah, that's it. And overall, I will give the chapter 7.5 out of 10. Okay, Megumi did some stuff. Souma and Hisako did some stuff. I mean, like I said, that's all that happened in the chapter, which is good, but like not like it's good, but not like really really good. So I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10, and that's that, you guys. Rate, comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.